I'm sitting on the chair with an ice cream in my mouth and playing a game with my hands. On the other side, Andrew is making the bed for me. Hey, Charlie. You dare to enslave the top student to make the bed for you. How bold. I look towards the door and roll my eyes at him. Turns out it's a buddy I hung out with in high school. We've bumped into each other and are even in the same dorm. Jealous? If you have the guts, make the top student make the bed for you too. Cooper gives me the middle finger in disdain. Relying on Andrew's indulgence, I launch a mental attack on him. I have the ability to take care of myself, but not much. I made my own bed in a mess and finally compromised and asked Andrew to help me. Are you a monster? Did you give Andrew a love potion? Andrew finishes it in a few strokes. It's still very hot in September. Sweat runs down his forehead. I casually get up and grab a tissue to wipe it off for him. His eyelashes are very long. His eyebrows are thick. His nose is straight. And his lips are neither too thick nor too thin. He looks so kissable. I can't help but swallow my saliva and look away guiltily. Who can resist this temptation? I'll go take a shower first and then take you out for dinner later. With that, he takes off his shirt in front of me, revealing a strong and solid body, faint abs, broad shoulders, and a narrow waist. Andrew messes up my hair, takes out some clothes from the closet, and heads towards the bathroom. Hey, Charlie, wipe your drool. Your eyes are almost glued to him. I cover Cooper's mouth and tell him to keep his voice down. If you like him, just tell him. Judging from the way you looked just now, you were almost about to pounce on him. Hearing this, I immediately feel melancholy. My childhood friend is homophobic, and unfortunately, I'm gay. Do you think I don't want to? If it weren't for the fact that Andrew doesn't like men, I would have pounced on him long ago. How do you know he doesn't like men? Because back then, Andrew was almost kissed by a little gay. He washed his cheeks over and over again. His eyes showed disgust and he kept saying it was disgusting. At that moment, I immediately knew that Andrew was homophobic, extremely homophobic. If he found out that the buddy he grew up with is a homosexual, he'd cut off all ties and never talk to me again. Looking in the direction of the bathroom, I clench my fists tightly. I'll never let this happen. Andrew got in with the first place score in his major and is also the president of the student union. Along the way, many people come up to say hello to him. Suddenly, a voice comes from behind. Who is this little cutie? I looked left and right, wondering who the cute one the person in front of me was talking about. Andrew pressed my head and couldn't help laughing out loud, the sound being clear yet deep. It's you, little cutie. My face instantly turned bright red. Who was a little cutie? Hello. My name is Ryan. I'm a sophomore in the Department of Economics and Management and the vice president of the school. Charlie. And stop calling me little cutie. Seeing me getting angry, Ryan immediately apologized and curiously looked at my hair and couldn't help reaching out to touch it. Andrew pulled me back and said coldly, "Keep your paws to yourself." Ryan scanned his eyes back and forth between us and nodded meaningfully. Got it. I understand, you're protective. I'm of mixed blood, with half-British ancestry, so my hair is curly. I used to think about cutting it, but later I found that Andrew liked to touch my hair, so I gave up the idea of cutting it. The three of us then went to the cafeteria together. Andrew and Ryan were talking about the freshman party. I just buried my head and ate hard, and eavesdropped on their conversation from time to time. Andrew is actually going to participate in this party. Then I must take good pictures of him. I nudged Andrew with my elbow and asked curiously, "What will you perform?" Before Andrew could speak, Ryan answered first. A duet dance, with the school's well-recognized campus bell. You have no idea how good-looking they are standing together. Really? It must be very nice. I replied with a bit of a sour feeling in my heart. There was still a smile and an expectant look on my face. The campus bell, a duet dance, a handsome man and a beautiful woman. They must be a perfect match. Back in the dormitory, many pictures popped up in my mind. I promised not to have any improper thoughts about Andrew, but I just can't help it. What's wrong with you? You seem absent-minded. Charlie. Tong tong. Andrew leaned in front of me, just a fist length away. For a moment, I almost stopped breathing. I blushed at the ears and got a bit angry. I've said don't call me by my nickname. Andrew chuckled softly and rubbed my earlobe with his cold fingertips. I called your name just now, but still, calling you Tong Tong works better. Don't you think it's too affectionate? Really? Andrew shrugged and spread his hands, not thinking there was anything overly affectionate about this address. Tong Tong, Tong Tong, Tong Tong. When you were a kid, you demanded cutely yet fiercely that I call you like this. What, are you shy now? In the mirror, my ears were so red that they seemed to be bleeding. This guy is so charming. The time for the freshman party is quite tight. Andrew went for rehearsal right after dinner. It's just me and Cooper in the dormitory. I said, Charlie, aren't you worried that your Andrew will fall for someone else? He's with the school bell now doing a duet dance. Maybe there'll be some intimate moves. Stop. First of all, Andrew doesn't belong to me. Secondly, the term fall for someone else doesn't apply to him and me. Finally, if they really take a fancy to each other, I'll just give my blessings. Besides, this path is really not easy to walk. I said the last sentence very softly. Cooper looked at me with an expression of hating iron for not becoming steel, looking disdainfully at my stubborn mouth. As a result, I found an excuse and secretly ran to the place where they were rehearsing. I'm just curious about what the school bell looks like. I'm definitely not here to spy. The performance teacher in the classroom was demonstrating the moves. Here, Andrew, you need to put your arm around Luna's waist. Gently pull her over and look into each other's eyes. Your eyes should be full of joy. You too, Luna. Don't be so stiff. Be more flexible. And you guys, pay attention. Through the window, I saw the school bell. She had a little ball of hair on her head, looking up and smiling at Andrew. The little dimple on the corner of her mouth looked very sweet. I don't know what the two of them were talking about. Andrew lowered his eyes and smiled. Sure enough, the two of them standing together were very pleasing to the eye. My nose felt sour. I knew there was no result but still fantasized all day long. He treats me as a buddy, but I'm thinking about how to pursue him. Whose cute little one is standing at the door looking so pitiful? I knew it was Ryan as soon as I heard this address. I saw him a few times last week. He just couldn't change the address of cute little one. So I just let him call me that. Waiting for Andrew? No, I said guiltily. Just taking a stroll. Ryan looked into the classroom and then at my red pinched nose. It seemed that he understood something. Do you need me to help you? He's as thick-headed as a block of wood and doesn't understand anything. I looked up in confusion and stared at him puzzledly. He moved closer to me. There was a faint smell on him. He slowly got very close. His breath hit the back of my neck when he spoke. Do you like Andrew? He gave an ambiguous smile, looking at my panicked and terrified expression. How about considering liking me? I'm much more fun than that blockhead. One sentence after another exploded in my mind like bombs. He is actually gay too. And he wants to hit on me. What are you doing? The familiar voice made me panic. I stepped back in a hurry to get away from Ryan, but at the crucial moment I tripped and threw myself at him. Ryan steadied me firmly. The next second I was pulled over by Andrew and bumped into his chest. It's so hard. It hurts me so much. Andrew hugged me nervously, frowning deeply. It seemed that he was trying his best to control his emotions with obvious interrogation in his tone. Why are you so nervous? I just helped the cutie up when she fell. Ryan felt wrongly accused and very innocent. Really? Andrew didn't listen to his explanation and looked down at me. I glanced at Ryan and mumbled in agreement. Nothing actually happened, but now it felt like I was caught doing something wrong. On the way back, Andrew didn't say a word to me and just walked straight ahead. Andrew, wait for me. I can't walk anymore. Andrew, you're walking so fast. Andrew. Relying on his long legs, he didn't consider me at all and just kept walking, completely ignoring my words. I'm not angry anymore, but he's still inexplicably mad at me. I plopped down on the bench under the tree, feeling gloomy. I casually picked up the fallen leaves on the ground and threw them out as if venting my anger. I should have known better than to go watch his rehearsal. Sure enough, unrequited love is just asking for trouble and suffering for myself. My phone kept beeping with messages. Everyone in the group was sharing and discussing what they were most looking forward to in this performance. The top-ranked one was definitely the dance of Andrew and Luna. Many people secretly took pictures of the two rehearsing together. They are simply a perfect match. Andrew is so handsome and Luna is so beautiful. They look so good together. I love watching them. The comments below made me even more secretly angry. Damn Andrew, smiling so happily. Just go live your happy life on your own. I don't want to like you anymore. It's so painful. I might as well just start liking other men so as not to end up not even being able to be friends. I muttered and whispered to myself. Unexpectedly, something cold touched my face and gave me a fright. Andrew was shaking a drink he took from the freezer and directly pressed it against my face. What are you muttering about? Andrew squatted down to look me in the eye and asked calmly. After saying that, he reached out and pinched my puffy cheeks. I'll apologize first. We've said before that we should just speak up when there's a problem. Charlie, what are you angry about? I'm angry that you don't talk to me and ignore me when I call you. The more I thought about it, the angrier I got. I grabbed his arm and took a hard bite, leaving 2 rows of tooth marks on his arm. This tooth mark was like marking my own possession, and my possessiveness flared up. Andrew looked at me, trying not to laugh. After I finished losing my temper, he stroked my hair and I immediately calmed down. Suddenly, I calmed down and felt embarrassed. I turned my head to the other side, but Andrew held my face with both hands and turned it back. Next time you see Ryan, stay away from him, okay? Why? Although I haven't met him many times, I think Ryan is quite suitable to be a friend. But after discovering his little secret, I'm a bit afraid that he might take a fancy to me. A look of hesitation flashed across Andrew's eyes and his gaze was fixed on me. Anyway, stay away from him. You're still young. Don't let him lead you astray. I pouted. I don't like it when he lectures me in such a serious way. The orientation meeting is approaching. Andrew asked me to be his dance partner for some practice. He offered a free month's worth of breakfast as a condition, and I readily agreed. Tontong, don't make your waist so stiff. Put your hand on my shoulder and hold my right hand with this one. Look at me with your eyes. Every word Andrew said made me feel like he was seducing me. People used to say he was thick-headed, but now it seems he's even better at flirting than I am. Wait. Hold on. Is this a couple's dance? It's more like a hooligan's dance. My body was pressed tightly against Andrew's. My mind instantly went blank about the next steps. Every breath Andrew took was so close. A thin layer of sweat appeared on my forehead. Suddenly, an idea popped into my head. Should I test if there's any possibility that Andrew likes me? Hesitation and fear welled up in me. When I tiptoed for the next move, I brushed my lips across his face. The gentle touch made me as happy as a child getting a piece of candy. The next second, I immediately apologized. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I hung my head and stammered an apology. Andrew's face changed. His body stiffened for a moment. He left with a simple, "It's okay. I've been disliked. It's over. We can't even be friends now." I squatted on the ground, tugging at my hair in remorse, regretting my momentary impulse. I knew Andrew hated homosexuality, yet I did such a shameless thing. I was just being too greedy. Countless scenes of apology flashed through my mind, but I didn't get the chance. Maybe Andrew sensed something. He deliberately avoided meeting me in the following days. Cooper also noticed that the atmosphere in the dorm had become strange. "What's wrong with you and the top student? What happened?" I was lying dejectedly in bed, not in the mood to talk to him. Then I told him the whole story. Cooper was shocked by my boldness and gave me a thumbs up. Not long ago, I told him I wanted to be lifelong good friends with Andrew. But within just a few days, I kissed him. For a moment, Cooper didn't know how to comfort me. He told me not to think too much, to relax, or to try liking someone else. "Are you really not going to the freshman welcome party tonight?" "No, I won't go. I'm not in the mood at all now. I don't know how to face him after promising to take pictures before." "Cooper, actually, it's not a big deal. Just apologize to the top student. Then you can like someone else and still be brothers." I bent my arm slightly and placed it across my forehead to cover my eyes. A tear silently rolled down. When I was 4 years old, I came back from abroad, babbling in broken Chinese. The adults beside me burst into laughter when they heard me. Shy, I hid behind Andrew and buried my head in his back to hide my face. These adults are so mean. Later, Andrew came to my home with simple Chinese picture books in his hand and taught me bit by bit. Gradually, I became more and more dependent on him. As soon as school was over, I would follow him home. The kids of the same age said I was a clingy person. I held Andrew's hand and made faces at them. Being a clingy person is okay. who asked me to like Andrew the most. After school in primary school, Andrew would always stand at the school gate waiting for me. Only when he saw me coming out would he put away the book in his hand and take out biscuits from his bag. Brother Andrew, these are the little biscuits the teacher rewarded me with. I saved the most delicious one for you. In junior high school, I couldn't get used to the school meals. The food in the cafeteria is so terrible. Andrew frowned and said I was delicate. Then he silently turned around and went to the kitchen to pack the food. In my first year of senior high school, I found a pink envelope in my book with a heart sticker on it. Why is there a letter in the book given by Brother Andrew? Could it be from a girl who likes him? The curious voice in my head urged me to open it. But in the end, I handed the envelope to Andrew. Andrew glanced at it and put it in his pocket. He asked me indifferently, "Have you finished your homework? Aren't you going to open it and have a look?" "No, it'll distract me from my studies." Oh, so in the eyes of a top student, these things are just trivial and not worth caring about. While writing, I shared the interesting things that happened at school. The afterglow of the setting sun shone in through the window and scattered beside the window. Andrew sat beside me, doing his papers and listening to my complaints, responding with an occasional, I've never received a love letter. What kind of girls does Brother Andrew like? I clearly felt the person beside me fall silent, as if in deep thought. Finally, he just shook his head. I pulled his hand over and leaned on it. The lemon scent on him wafted into my nose. If Brother Andrew were a girl, I'd marry you. Oh no, if I were a girl, surely more people would like me. I'm so likable, cute, and kind. Would Brother Andrew like me? That night, Andrew didn't answer my question. He frowned tightly as if facing a world-class problem and gradually fell into deep thought. Finally, I received the same envelope in my school bag. Finally, someone likes me. I ran to share the news with Andrew before I even had time to eat. After reading the content, I found it a bit hard to understand. Andrew tightly pursed his thin lips, slightly frowned, and deliberately shifted his gaze away, but the fist he was clenching tightened involuntarily. Stay away from him from now on. Why? Don't you see this is a letter written by a boy? Andrew raised his voice a few degrees, and his emotions became unstable. A boy wrote to me? My mind went blank all of a sudden. So it turns out that boys can like boys too. It turns out that I like Andrew, not in the way I like a brother. In the end, I still went to the freshman party. When all the lights converged on Andrew, the audience below was in an uproar, screaming excitedly. As soon as Andrew and Luna appeared on the stage, the screams and cheers of the audience got even louder. The music started, and the two of them cooperated very well. Later, I found that the dance Andrew and Luna did was completely different from the one he did with me. Why is this? I wanted to know the answer. After the banquet, I sent a message to Andrew in advance to meet him backstage. I held a bunch of flowers in my hand, ready to apologize to him sincerely. Just as I was about to enter at the door, the voices of Luna and Andrew came from inside. Will you consider me? No need. Andrew refused firmly and without hesitation. Luna was not willing to give up. She blocked Andrew and continued to ask, "Could it be that you like boys?" "No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't." Actually, I had already guessed this answer. I just wanted to hold on to a little hope. But now that I've heard it with my own ears, my heart still aches. The moment I rushed out of the crowd, Andrew's words kept echoing in my mind. I don't know how long I ran. I was so tired that I squatted by the roadside, hugged my head and cried loudly, looking extremely disheveled. I held back my sobs. The love that I hadn't even had the chance to express was already snuffed out. Hey, I found a cute little thing on the roadside who has turned into a poor thing. Come on. Let me take you somewhere to relax. I shook my head and refused, burying my head deeper, not wanting Ryan to see my embarrassing state. Ryan put his hands in his pockets and shook his head. After a long while, he pulled me up. Then, with a red-rimmed nose from crying, I followed Ryan to the bar. There were a lot of people inside. Ryan said something to the bartender and looked at me. I've ordered you a low-alcohol drink. Listen to me. There's nothing that can't be solved after having a drink. I nodded. After drinking it, I found it tasted good. The sweet taste really made me feel a bit better. After a few drinks, my head was dizzy. I vaguely saw Ryan kissing a man. The two of them were so into it that they didn't care about the surroundings at all. Is this a gay bar? In my days, many people came to strike up a conversation with me. I wasn't in the mood to pay attention. The bartender stood in front of me and told me to be careful and ignore them. He pointed to a corner and told me to go there and rest. I hugged the wine bottle and lay on the corner sofa. Turns out that wine can really make people drunk. I don't know how much time had passed when I was shaken awake. Someone grabbed my collar, and I almost couldn't breathe because of the tightness around my neck. Andrew saw Charlie, slumped on the sofa in the corner. His expression instantly darkened, like a night sky smeared with ink, dark and terrifying. Charlie, wake up. You've really grown up and learned to drink. I was shaken awake, and my stomach felt terrible. I looked at the person in front of me in a daze and poked his face with my finger. Why do I see Andrew? Huh? He looks exactly the same. Immediately, I pushed him away again, pointing at my heart, feeling wronged and uncomfortable. Humph, we're no longer friends. I don't want to like him anymore. It hurts here. I should have known better than to kiss him. Sorry. I'll find someone else to like and kiss. The man was enraged by my words. He tightened his grip and pulled me onto his lap. One of his strong hands reached for the back of my head, and the other pinched my face. He said fiercely, "Say it again. Who don't you like?" I remembered not to talk to strangers. I slapped him and tried my best to push him away, but my weak efforts were in vain. I puffed up my cheeks and vented my anger at him loudly. "It's none of your business." The next second, Andrew pressed down on me without hesitation. I struggled between suffocation and breathing. I didn't get out of bed until nearly noon the next day. My head was throbbing, and I felt weak all over. I turned over and lay on my stomach, feeling nauseous. I looked around the dormitory and saw that no one was there. Andrew hadn't come back either. "I'm back." Cooper came in with 3 big and small bags. As soon as he saw me, he let out a startled scream. "Hey, Charlie, who nibbled on your lips?" I reached out and touched them. It really hurt. I immediately picked up the mirror and saw that my lips were swollen and there was a small cut. I also let out a scream. What should I do? Who kissed me? I'll kill him. I've lost my innocence. What should I do? Cooper? I was so anxious that I paced back and forth. I regretted drinking too much last night and not remembering anything. Cooper put down the things and rushed towards me in a few steps. He pulled open my pajamas and let out a sigh of relief. "Thank goodness. Your innocence is still intact. At most, your lips were nibbled a few times. And quite roughly, too. First, there was the Cold War with Andrew, and then I lost my first kiss. This was a huge blow to me. I squatted on the ground in despair. I should have known better than to drink last night, knowing that I get drunk after just 1 glass. Andrew, whom I hadn't seen for a long time, came back. He stood at the door, wearing a white shirt and black straight-leg pants. His face was fair with a cold tone. I accidentally made eye contact with him in a panic. I immediately got up and buried my head in the quilt to hide myself. Right now, the last person I want to see is him. Cooper looked around, not knowing how to break the ice for a moment. Then he found an excuse to flee the dormitory. I silently cursed him in my heart for having no sense of brotherhood at all. Get up and have lunch. Andrew put the food packed from the canteen on the table. I showed my 2 eyes and looked at him. After a long time, I spoke. Sorry, are you not angry anymore? Hearing Andrew grunt, I heaved a sigh of relief, got up and sat on the stool. Andrew's gaze fell on the corner of my mouth. I immediately covered it and explained nervously, I bit it myself. His gaze was like a cheetah staring at its prey. Oh, really? On the way to the library, I happened to meet Ryan. I wanted to go up and say hello and ask about what happened after I got drunk at the bar last time. But Ryan ran away as soon as he saw me. I chased after him closely and finally caught him. The two of us sat on the ground out of breath. Why are you running, senior? You, Charlie. I apologize to you. I shouldn't have taken you to drink. Senior. I just want to ask what happened after I got drunk? Ryan stammered a few times. I asked someone to send you back to school. I was shocked. Could it be that someone really took advantage of me? Forget it. Just think of it as being bitten by a dog. I didn't notice the embarrassed expression on Ryan's face at all. Forced love won't work. I gradually took the initiative to stay away from Andrew. I joined clubs, the student union, and participated in competitions. Coupled with my good looks, I became quite well known in school. Especially after they knew my sexual orientation, they seemed even more excited. Some of them even sent me yaoi fanfictions and comics, and the protagonists were actually me and Andrew. I blushed with shame at the content inside. Suddenly, I didn't know how long Andrew had been standing behind me. What is Tong looking at? My hand trembled and I pressed the wrong key, playing the voice. Could it be that you want to overpower Chin? It's not impossible. Oh no. I quickly turned off my phone. The air was so quiet that you could hear my breathing. I wished I could dig a hole and bury myself. Andrew trapped me in the chair, propping his arms on both sides of the chair and looking at me playfully. What does Tong want to overpower me in? I blushed and turned my head away without answering. This guy must be deliberately teasing me. Later, when Andrew heard that someone was pursuing me, he didn't say anything. The senior student who was pursuing me was rejected by me 2 or 3 times. Unexpectedly, he blocked me at the school gate and dragged me into an alley. Charlie, what's wrong with me? I really like you. I raised my eyebrows. Like me? He had 3 boyfriends in 1 semester. He would coax them, get tired of them, and then casually break up with them. This scumbag still dares to say he likes me. I feel sick just looking at his face. Sorry, I've said many times that I don't like you. Please don't bother me anymore. Unwilling to hear my repeated rejections, he suddenly lunged forward, grabbed my hand, and pressed me hard against the wall. Let go of me, you bastard. Get out. If you have the guts, let me go and fight me. My shouts were viciously covered by his hand and I could only make dull whimpering sounds. Charlie, do you know how attractive you are? I noticed you soon after you came. I've made them all go away for you. Be a good boy and I'll treat you well. How disgusting. I wished I could kill him. I'd rather die together with him. Just at this critical moment, Andrew rushed out, his eyes wide with anger. Without hesitation, he kicked the guy hard in the back. The sudden attack made him stagger forward. Then Andrew picked up a stick nearby and smashed it hard at him. There were continuous cries of pain and pleas for mercy in the alley. The crazy Andrew hit extremely hard every time. Andrew, stop hitting. You'll kill him. Stop. Andrew, calm down. He seemed not to hear my voice. He was possessed and crazy. The man on the ground knelt down and kept begging for mercy with blood gushing from his head. I stood in front of Andrew and cried. Andrew regained his senses, threw down the stick, and hugged me. As if he wanted to merge me into his bones, Andrew called my name with a trembling voice. Charlie, Tong. Don't be afraid. I'm here. He took me to an apartment near the school, a house he bought without my knowing when. There were very few things in the house. The simple furniture could be seen at a glance. Along the way, Andrew held my hand tightly. Even though our palms were sweating, he still refused to let go. After closing the door, Andrew stared at me with his deep and dark eyes. I felt he had changed a lot since I last saw him. Before I could figure out what he had just said, the next second he reached out to take off my clothes. I slapped him with my hand, and the crisp sound echoed in the living room. I almost suffered an assault just now. And now he wants to humiliate me? Andrew, stop going crazy. Yes, I'm just crazy. If I hadn't arrived in time, do you know how dangerous it would have been? Do you know how scared I was just now? Charlie, I went to see a doctor. I know I'm sick. I don't like men. I only like you. I avoided it. I was a coward. I didn't dare to admit my feelings for you. I almost went crazy when I saw you getting close to other men. I was stunned by what he said. What did he just say? That he liked me. Suddenly, my breathing became rapid and disordered. It was as if the surrounding air had been ignited, and time seemed to stand still. When I woke up, it was already night. It was terribly dark outside the window. I slowly sat up, feeling a bit confused. It took me a long time to come to my senses. I looked around and cursed under my breath. Just then, Andrew came in with a water cup. I picked up the pillow and threw it at him. Andrew smiled and told me to be careful, then bent down to pick up the pillow on the ground. Andrew, are you schizophrenic? Didn't you dislike men before? And you even kissed me. Beast. Scoundrel. I'm gonna call the police and arrest you. Andrew slowly walked to the bedside, helped me sit up, and the tenderness in his eyes was hard to hide. I don't like men, but I only like you. You can beat me and scold me, but you're not allowed to leave me. Otherwise, I'll lock you up. Andrew took a bite of my shoulder. He's simply a psychopath. Since that incident happened, Andrew has been acting like a different person, keeping a close eye on me and finding all sorts of ways to flirt with me. When I finish class, he waits for me at the classroom door. He follows me to the cafeteria and the library. With just one look from me, Andrew knows what I'm going to do next. Sometimes when Cooper is not in the dorm, Andrew even more blatantly corners me by the bed. I secretly thought that something bad was about to happen and prepared to run away. Tong Tong, your waist is so slender. Andrew encircles me and buries his head in my neck to sniff. I can't push him away and angrily say, "Aren't you straight? Can't you stop flirting?" He's becoming more and more excessive now. On the weekend, my mom called and asked me to go home for dinner. She specifically told me to invite Andrew too. In my eyes, Andrew is practically her own son. In the car, Andrew plays with my fingers, sometimes interlocking our fingers and sometimes hooking our little fingers. The faint tingling sensation makes me turn my head and glare at him. My mom has been waiting for us. I haven't seen her for a long time. With a look of grievance and longing, I rush up to hug her. "Oh, you're still so good at being coquettish even after going to college. Don't let your Andrew brother laugh at you. He wouldn't dare. Auntie, this is the tea my mom asked me to bring for you. I remembered you liked it last time, so I prepared more." Andrew says a few words and makes my mom very happy. She keeps praising him for being capable and talented. At the dinner table, I pick up my chopsticks and start eating. Andrew's elegance is in sharp contrast to my wolf-like gobbling. My mom says, "Tong Tong, are you getting used to college life? Don't cause trouble for Andrew, okay? Learn to be self-reliant and don't always rely on your Andrew brother." Auntie, it's not troublesome at all. Tong Tong is very well behaved. Andrew, you've spoiled him since childhood. I grunt twice, a bit dissatisfied. Under the table, I stretch out my foot and stomp on Andrew. Unexpectedly, he then hooks my leg. I glare at him fiercely. Andrew acts as if nothing has happened and continues eating. I try hard to pull my leg back but fail. Good grief. Suddenly, I thought of a post I saw online before. I moved my chair closer to Andrew. My mom looked at my actions in confusion but didn't say anything. Maybe she's already used to me sticking to him. I put my left hand on Andrew's leg. He trembled slightly, looked at me in confusion, and then continued chatting with my mom. My fingers gently traced from his knee to his thigh. Andrew's ears gradually turned red. I pinched him hard, and the pain made him let go of my leg. I smiled smugly and continued to enjoy my food with my head down. After the meal, my mom asked Andrew to stay and sleep in the same room with me. "Isn't there another guest room in our house? Isn't it not cleaned? What's wrong with staying with your Andrew brother? You used to sleep with him naked when you were a kid, and he never disliked you." I pouted. Andrew wrapped a towel around his lower body and came out after taking a shower. I just finished a game and looked up to see a handsome man coming out of the shower, with 8-pack abs and water droplets running down his abs. "You're such a hooligan. I thought Tong Tong would like to watch." Was simply speechless. I angrily grabbed my clothes and walked into the bathroom. There was still warmth in the lingering mist. When I came out, he had already made the bed and was waiting for me to get in. I swallowed hard. Isn't this just to tempt me? I put my hands on my hips and said to him in a firm tone, "You'd better not make any moves on me tonight. Be careful or I'll tell Mom and let her beat you." Andrew smiled and patted the empty space beside him. "Don't worry. I won't do anything to you until you agree to make me your official boyfriend. I don't believe you. On Andrew's birthday, we played Truth or Dare. The wine bottle pointed at Ryan first. He chose truth. What color are the underwear you're wearing today? Everyone present laughed. Ryan looked around and threw a piece of candy at Cooper. There are girls here. Ask some more civilized questions. Unexpectedly, the girls became even more curious and loudly asked Ryan to tell. Red. After saying that, Ryan's face instantly turned as red as a steamed shrimp. The second person to lose was Cooper. It was a dare. Ryan, who always got even, asked him to go outside the door and shout 3 times, "I'm a pig." Cooper gave Ryan a thumbs up, shouted, and then immediately ran back into the private room. I was absolutely amused. Little did I expect that the next victim would be me. Let Andrew come up with a question. I stared at Andrew threateningly. He seemed not to notice and thought for a long time but still couldn't come up with one. Forget it, I'll ask. Cooper took the task upon himself voluntarily. Who did you give your first kiss to? As soon as the others heard this, they immediately started to make a ruckus and all their gazes were focused on me and Andrew. I blushed and asked to change the question. I stammered and whispered it out, but they still heard it. Cooper looked at Andrew and swore, "The little white rabbit has been carried away by the big bad wolf." After the game, everyone started to eat cakes, sing songs, and didn't disperse until 11 o'clock. Andrew was very happy. He held my hand all the way back. Today Ryan complained to me that you punched him. Andrew pretended to be ignorant. I was so angry that I jumped onto his back and locked my arms around his neck. You've hidden yourself well. Was it you who stole a kiss from me in the bar last time? Andrew, with his neck being strangled, supported my butt with one hand and carried the gifts given by everyone with the other. Actually, I had suspected it was Andrew that day. The smell on him couldn't be washed away. I just didn't dare to think about it. The uncertainty and fear in my heart made me afraid to ask. When I went to see Ryan that day, his wounds were almost healed. He could only endure the 2 punches from Andrew. Andrew gently put me down and pinched my face. Don't go drinking again next time. If you want to drink, I have to be there watching. Because he still remembered that drunk appearance of mine. Now that I think about it, I even regret not punching Ryan harder. If you had been picked up by someone else, I really don't dare to think about the consequences. This moment of happiness was something I had never experienced before. Perhaps we were destined to be entangled with each other a long time ago. I ran a short distance away from him and shouted at him. Andrew, want a date? Sure.